On to SMU. It's a great opportunity for us to play a really good opponent who's in our backyard. We feel like this is a great rivalry. I know they had a great game this past week, got a great win, and Coach Morris and their coaching staff does a great job of getting those guys ready. I think they've really grown over the last couple of years, evolving in their schemes, and it'll be an exciting game. We're excited about the challenge, and it'll be fun.
Coach, going from Lamar to SMU, especially playing on the road now, what have y'all tried to do to prepare them more so this week?
It's no different. I mean, you're still preparing for a football game. I think your preparation every single week needs to be pretty much the same. Going to SMU on the road is pretty much like a home game for us in the sense that we do everything pretty routinely the same. So not much change, not much different other than it's a different venue. But we just got to continue to prepare like we know how to, and that we've worked towards, over the past year and a half, really, and understanding that it's important to focus in and making sure we get the most out of every single opportunity we have moving forward in practice.
With Joshua, D, and Rico are listed injuries, are there any more or less, and what are their statuses?
No, and I think we're getting back pretty much healthy. I think we'll see some different guys get back this week. Don't want to be specific yet, but I feel pretty good about getting some guys back.
With Cortland Sutton, obviously a huge player for SMU, how big of a test is it going to be for your secondary, and how much faith do you have in them?
Yeah, it's a great challenge. It's a great matchup. I think, obviously he's one of the best in the country. And he's a special player, and our guys know that. And I believe that we'll be working and preparing towards that. Obviously, our coaches got to make sure we put those guys in the best situation to have success. But I know our guys are excited about the matchup. It'll be a great challenge, and that's why we play the game, for competition. And it'll be a great challenge.
You have the four captains that went out last week for Lamar. How important have they been in the locker room for you in this first week, and how important are they going to be going forward this season?
Yeah, and that's more of our leadership council in general. We have 12 to 14 guys are on leadership council. So weekly our captains may change. At the end of the year we'll vote on captains who we felt like were the 4 to 5 guys that led our team the entire year. So that'll change as it goes throughout the season.
You have a good amount of players from JUCO and everything like that. What is it like to bring them in, and what do you see from them as far as motivated, and what makes them special?
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't know how different it is from JC to college or high school as much as, those guys obviously got a chip on their shoulder. They've had to go a different route, and I know those guys are excited to get back to this level. But, everybody's a little bit different. Everybody adjusts the game a little, the speed of the game, learns the systems quicker than others. But, if you can get those guys, they're a little bit more mature, maybe a little bit more experienced and playing a little bit. So, but it's not a science. I mean, it doesn't mean that it always works out. We've definitely been fortunate to have gotten some great players out of those ranks, and they've done a good job for us.
This could potentially be the 500th win for the program. Would it be special to be a part of a milestone like that for you and for the players on this team?
Well, I honestly didn't know that at this point. But yeah, it's always a great honor to be part of something special. But again, I'm more focused on SMU this week. We don't get caught up in numbers too much. I think we have to, go about our business every single day like it's your first game. I mean, going as 0-0, and we got to do a great job of preparing for this group because again, I know Coach Morris. They've done a great job over there, and he'll have his guys ready to play.
Talk a little bit about SMU. I mean, we all know about Cortland Sutton, but it seems like they've brought in some dynamic skill position players. The LSU transfer Quinn, some other running backs that have come back. I mean, just talk about them in general.
Yeah, they're very balanced offensively, and to be honest, somewhat similar to what we do offensively. It's kind of I don't think either single defense. I mean, there's a couple wrinkles here and there, and maybe a couple different schemes that we do, but we're all pretty similar. They defensively, they're multiple. They're based out of a 3-man and 4-man front, as we do. So I think it's more about Like I said, I think they do a great job on all three phases. It'll be interesting because I do think we're very similar in what we do schematically.
You had trouble with Sutton last year. Is there something that you guys can do to adjust to maybe handle him a little bit better this year?
Well, you got to understand, he's a great football player, and he's going to make his plays. Obviously, we had a couple breakdowns last year where off scrambles, he got deep there and made some really nice plays for touchdowns in really crucial situations, and that's what big-time players do. But there's always adjustments. There's always things that we can do better as coaches to put these guys in good situations. So obviously we're game planning as of right now, and had our first workout, and we'll adjust as the week goes on. And again, for coaches, it's about getting our guys prepared and making sure they understand and know the game plan. They can go out there, play fast and free. And again, it's not about one guy. It's about a whole group playing together, all three phases playing together, and that's how we're going to have to. That's how you win football games.
Is it more than just Sutton? Do they have a lot of talent?
Yeah, they have playmakers. I mean, trust me. I mean, he's not the only guy out there, and that's what causes some of the biggest problems defensively for people is they got a weapon, but they also have other weapons. So the more you try to take away that one, you're going to open up other areas and other weaknesses in the defense. So again, you have to be smart, you have to be calculated, and again, making sure that we still continue to do the things that we're good at. Sometimes as coaches, we worry too much about offensively, maybe about what they're going to do instead of going out and running what we do well and we're successful at.
You've been here a year now, and you've been through this with SMU once in your first game. Have you gotten a sense from being around the program and around the people that support it of how important this SMU game is to people in North Texas?
Absolutely, and it should be important. Again, it's a school right down the road. It's a great rivalry, and it's always great to be a part of these games. I really enjoy it. That's why you play college football. I mean, there's fans, there's the energy, the excitement that goes around it. That's why you want to be here, and you love to go out and compete against the best, and especially when they're in your backyard.
You get that sense from your players as well. A lot of you guys have been here a long time and have been through this.
Yeah, there's no doubt. We understand the importance of it. And again, I mean, I guess maybe it's different other places, but I would figure anytime you got a school in your backyard and or a rivalry, and it's important to the fans, it's important to our players, it's important to our coaches, and vice versa. It's going to be important to them as well. So it's going to come down to, again, making sure we prepare the right way this week and give ourselves the best chance and opportunity to go out there and compete and win.
Does it feel like a road game with it being in Dallas?
Again, it's pretty much a home game for us other than the venue. Because we're doing everything pretty similar, there's not going to be much change within the schedule, and that's where you start. That's what in road games, you start having to get on flights or buses, and you're changing your schedule. It kind of throws everything off, so it's not as routine normally. So this one's pretty routine though.
North Texas has only beaten SMU outside of Denton twice. Once in '77 at Texas Stadium and once in the '30s down in Dallas. Is it just tough to play a rival like that on the road?
I have no idea, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't think it's weird how you look across the country, any rivalry, any game like this. You never can tell. I mean, again, usually whoever overcomes adversity the quickest in these games have the best chance to win, because there's going to be adversities on both sides. So I can't tell you about the past. I mean, you never can go off that. As soon as you start going down that road, something else pops up. But again, it's for us about going out and preparing the right way this week.
You guys are just going to have to play well across the board, you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. I mean, you're not going to play. You're not going to be able to not play at your best in this game in order to have success. We're going to have to be clicking on all three phases. And again, I feel good about the preparation so far. Our kids are excited. They understand, today being the first game plan day, they understand what we're trying to get accomplished. And I was excited. So again, we got to continue that throughout the week and make sure that every day gets a little better.
Heading into the season, it looked like your defensive secondary is going to be one of the strengths of this team. One of the guys that's going to be in a key spot in this game is Nate Brooks. Do you feel good about that matchup with Nate against potentially Cortland and some of the other receivers?
Yeah, again, it's more than Nate. You know, it's going to take. You can't just take one guy. You know, we got to make sure that whatever defense is called, sometimes you're one-on-one matchup, sometimes it's some type of zone coverage. Everybody has. We got to be really good in our eyes. I don't think we had great eye discipline the other day in the secondary. You know, and I think that's something that we got to do a much better job on this week. That's something we've really stressed. So depending on what the matchups are, obviously if it's man or zone, we got to have great eye discipline and make sure that you do your job.
You ran into an NFL caliber wide receiver last year in Carlos Henderson. Didn't have a very successful day against him. Is there something you guys could take from that or learn from that you could bring into?
You learn from every game, Brett. I think, again, you're going to have playmakers out there. So it doesn't matter if it's a Sutherland or Sutton or whoever it is. When there's playmakers out there, you got to understand that they're going to make plays. They're going to make their plays. And it's kind of like in any other sport in basketball. You know, LeBron's going to get his points. You got to make sure you do the best to manage, again, the overall game. Prepare how you feel will give your players the best chance to win the football game. It's not so much about one guy's numbers. More importantly, it's about winning the game. So we're going to do whatever's necessary, again, to put our guys in the best situation to be successful.
Looks like you made some depth chart changes, including moving Rod back to the middle. At least that's what it looked like from your guys' depth chart this week. Have you decided to make some moves up there up front defensively?
Well, again, I feel like that's one of those positions that's been pretty deep. Obviously, we lost Bryce, so we've had to, you know, do a couple different things here and there to make sure that we have depth everywhere to where we're fresh. We're not getting worn down, and so you know, we'll continue to mix things up as we see fit moving forward, depending on you know, how many reps guys are getting, or you know, if we feel like you know, if we need to have more depth somewhere else.
Guys, this offensive line, you mentioned it a couple of times after that game, and just how well they played. Were you just pleased with the way they did, and will this week be a bigger challenge for those guys going forward?
Every week will be a bigger challenge, I think. But the way they play defense, I mean, they're going to load up the box in the sense that it's more of a quarters, you know, structure. But those safeties are fitting hard, and by the time the ball snapped, they're about 6 yards off the line of scrimmage. So a lot of times you're playing versus packed fronts, and again, the other night they were as well. They played a little bit more man. So there wasn't as much run support. So every week's different. Every week's a great challenge. And again, but it doesn't change. I still feel like whether it's offense, defense, I think it all starts up front. You got to be physical. We got to you know, continue to make sure we establish a very balanced run game. But we also got to be very competitive in the passing game and you know, make competitive plays. I think that's going to be key. So we're going to have to do a lot of good things. I think they're very sound defensively. I think you know, it's going to be a great challenge. But again, that's why we're here. That's what our guys are excited for. That's what our coaching staff's excited for. And it's about turning your players loose and letting them go out and make competitive plays.
But did that offensive line show some good signs last week?
Yeah, they did. Again, I've said it all camp. I think they're fitting the run better. They understand, have better chemistry. They become, you know, they've changed their bodies. Jordan Murray, I mean, he's down from last year to where he was up to 355 or so. Now he's down to around 330. So, I mean, different guys across the board. They're stronger. They understand the system better. You know, our run schemes kind of, because there's a lot of things that can come at you in a split second, and if you're not working them, repping them, the more reps you get, the better you get. So I do think those guys are much more comfortable, and that's, you know, that's without one of our starting guards this past week with TJ Henson. So you know, I think we'll get him back this week, and again, it's good to get guys that game experience and the more reps, but I do think they're playing at a higher level, but they got to continue to grow and get better every single week as well. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.